I secured All India rank 48 in JEE Advanced 2024. When did you start your JEE preparation? And what do you think is the right time to start JEE preparation? Having doubts is the first step to know that you're on the right track. How's your life at IIT Bombay? During my preparation, this happened to me once or twice. Did it happen to you? And what was the strategy to overcome that? So hello everyone. Today with me I have Sriram. So he was one of the topper from Tamil Nadu state last year with 100 percentile in JEE Mains and all India rank 48 in JEE Advanced. So I think that is the best ever rank from Coimbatore. So yes. So yes, that's about Sriram. So Sriram, we would like to hear more from you. So can you introduce about yourself, like what was the rank, what course you have enrolled in now, and how's the college life going on? Oh, hi everyone, I'm Sriram. I secured All India rank 48 in JEE Advanced 2024 and I've currently finished my first year in computer science in IIT Bombay. Alright. Sriram, like how's your life at IIT Bombay? Like especially I think computer science is a very popular course, especially IIT Bombay computer science, because there's a lot of craze and frenzy about it. So how's the experience till now? Life at IIT Bombay is very vibrant. There's always something going on. It's a very good atmosphere to be in. It's full of life, and I think the CS in specific is it's a nice course to be in. But then I don't think it's the frenzy is. I haven't seen much of it. It's just a normal course with I have good classmates, and I've mingled well with people from the other departments as well. So it's a very good experience so far. Nice. So Shinam, like because we are in touch with the students, so and many parents as well. So sometimes they ask us the question, what is the right time to start their JEE preparation? So we would like to hear from you, like when did you start your JEE preparation? And what do you think is the right time to start JEE preparation? I think the first time I had JEE as a goal in mind was in class 9. At that time, I think we had, I think NTSE as well. So I was slightly preparing for that too. But then I think 9th grade is a good time to start seriously thinking about JEE. And but I think your real preparation starts when you go to class 11 because that's when the syllabus you actually start reading the JEE Advanced syllabus, and but then you actually like you get into the rigor of preparation for JEE. You get the full feel of it. I think that will be really helpful for many aspirants who are out there or the right time to start JEE preparation. Now, I will ask some student-centric question because we talk to many students and they keep on asking us certain questions. So I'll say like one of the most hot question which many students ask is that that most of the time when they are preparing for JEE, what happens is that in the class when teacher is teaching, they have understood the concept, but when they are trying to solve the question, they are not able to apply the concept. So have it ever happened to you? And if it happened to you, like how did you overcome it? Okay, I think this was something that happened I think quite frequently to me during my preparation. I think when you really know that you understood a concept only when you look at the questions that you're solving. So if you've not understood something while solving questions, I think the first step would be to go to your teachers, get it cleared with respect to the question, so you'll gain a bit more clarity to the concept, and by the time you're done with all your doubts, I think then you will gain real clarity in the concept. There's no shame in not solving the question while you think you've understood, but I think you should get your doubts cleared on the spot because that'll keep your flow going and you'll gain confidence at the end of your doubts clearing. That's nice. So I think that will be very helpful for many aspirants. Now one more question is like from the student perspective, that how can a student ensure that they have understood a concept? Like what do you think should be a parameter for a student to assess that whether they have understood a concept or not? Okay, I think this was a parameter I set for myself. I'm not, it might be helpful for everyone out there as well. What I thought was when I listen to a concept and at the end of it, if I have, based on what I've listened to being taught, if I have doubts on it, if I start thinking for myself about the concept, I feel I have a good hold on the concept, and if I start solving questions and I'm able to solve them, that will clearly prove that I've really understood this concept. But personally what I felt was having doubts is the first step to know that you're on the right track towards understanding this concept well.
So basically, I think asking a lot of doubts and doubt solving is the important thing, because many students say that, sir, I have no doubt. Now, coming to doubt, one more question is that, especially these days, many kids have start depending a lot on online solution. Like, let us say whenever they are having a doubt, any questions, so rather than asking their teacher, they'll go to online and keep on searching for solution. What is your take on it? Like whether it is helpful, or till which point we need to stop, or so like what is your take about it?
So when we start solving questions, initially there will be a stage where we haven't looked at all the different aspects of the chapter through questions, or like we wouldn't have looked at all the model questions possible for a chapter. So at that point I think the right thing would be to go to our teachers so that they would be able to explain to us the right method for solving questions or the right way to approach it, and we might gain new insights into the concept. So at that point I think it's not wise to go to online solutions, because you wouldn't gain the full experience required. After towards the end of the your preparation, while you're solving previous year questions or you're solving question papers, and you need, you know, like you need answers at a moment's notice, at that point I think online solutions would be fine. But I think going to a teacher is always, you always gain something extra than what you needed, so that will be helpful.
Yeah, so I think that's a very nice insight. So many students will understand the importance of asking the doubt to the teachers. Now, another question we get from the student is that, like, they are not able to remember things. Like, for example, whatever they have learned 4 months back, 5 months back, they are not able to recollect. They have forgotten everything. So, does it happen to you? And whether it happened a lot or less, and what was the strategy to overcome that?
So during my preparation, at a lot, I this happened to me once or twice in different. I think all the subjects, and I felt scared that I lost all my preparation. I didn't know what I was going to do. But then I think to overcome that, one would be regular revision. But then in some subjects where there's a lot of theory content. Uh, uh, Personally for me chemistry was something like that, so I asked my teachers and they told me to maintain revision notebooks where you note down not the whole chapter like you would have done when the class was taken, but the important points that you feel you would forget, like tables, series, and so on, which you can keep revising every week or in regular intervals so you don't forget. That was especially helpful for me towards the end of my preparation, where you have 2 years of subjects to cover in like 2 weeks or something. So I would say maintain revision notebook for to remember stuff.
So I think it's a really nice takeaway for all our students, that to maintain revision notebook. So that will be really helpful. Now, one more question is that, did you had any strategy for preparation? Like, did you have a specific schedule, or how does a day look like? Like, if I ask you a daily, like a regular day during your JEE preparation, so did you have a fixed schedule, or how it looked like? So that, because many students ask that I want to have a fixed schedule, flexible schedule. So what is your take about it?
I tried to make my schedule based on what things I had to complete, and there was a regular part to it, and there was a flexible part of it. I had, like, during the day I had school, and after I came back, I tried to put in maybe ideally 5 hours of preparation, where I was able to cover what happened in school as well as my assignments, which varied in size and quantity per week. So ideally, I think apart from your schooling and classes, at least 4 to 5 hours of study per day is helpful. That will be ideal.
All right. Now, one more question is that, when you say 4 to 5 hours study, like what exactly study? Because some kids will say that I've been reading a lot, or so. What is your take? Like how study should be? Like how much reading time, how much practice time? Like so, what can you give some insight on that?
Depending on the day, it is you could spend more time on theory. You could spend all the 4 hours on practice. Ideally, at the end of the day, you should feel like what you set, like the chapter that you set out to do, you should have a complete thorough overview of it, and you should have learned something new. And at the start of your study time every day, you should set a goal for yourself and try to complete that goal by the end of it. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be fixed, it can vary according to your needs, and you should be free to vary your study time as per that.
Okay, so basically, we need to have a daily target, and we need to also meet the daily target. Otherwise, it will keep on accumulating. Okay. Now, another question is that because many times we have seen that some student will be a little more relaxed in 11th, but in 12th they are more sincere. So, what is your take in it? Like, what do you think is that how much advantage someone will get if they are very sincere in 11th?
Since JEE is like it is 11th and 12th have equal weightage in JEE Advanced, it would be best if you hit the ground running, start 11th very sincerely, but that might not always happen. You might it might take some time for you to ease into it, but then ideally by the time you're done with 11th standard, you should have a hold on what you're doing, and you should be in control of your study, and you should get ahead of your you should start 12th with a very positive mindset, and with ideally very less backlog, so that you can have a good 1 year of preparation, and you don't let your portions get out of control. So I think 11th is very important. I personally, again, I had a slight towards the middle of 11th. I had a slight backlog, and I had to dig deep and put some extra effort to complete most of my 11th by the end of 11th, so that I could start 12th properly.
Okay, so I think balancing 11 12 is important. So, yes, it's a very good key takeaway that from 11th itself we need to be more focused. Now, one more question is that many students struggle in balancing their board preparation or their JEE preparation. So, how did you manage that, and what do you think should be a right strategy? Like, if you have to tell it to someone.
I think since board has 5 subjects, 3 of which are already covered in JEE preparation. If you do your JEE preparation well, as in do an all-round preparation consisting of, which will also consist of reading your NCRT textbooks, I think board preparation would not take much deviation in terms of maths, physics, and chemistry. And in terms of the other 2 subjects, you just have to give them a fixed amount of time per week. You don't have to deviate from your schedule too much. Just attend your classes regularly in school, get those portions covered then and there. I think towards the end, during the board period, you should just study for those subjects, and that will be fine. It for me, it didn't deviate much from my JEE preparation, so you just have to give it some required amount of time per week, and you should be fine.
Okay, so guys, the idea is basically merging the JEE and board preparation so that it goes hand in hand. Okay. Now, one more question is that because this again a very like many students ask us is that how did you manage your silly mistakes? Because that is also which is quite a common issue with many students. So how were you able to handle or reduce your silly mistakes?
Throughout 11th and 12th, I made silly mistakes of varying degrees in each exam. I found that I couldn't always eliminate silly mistakes. Thankfully, towards the in the final exam, I was able to keep it to a minimum. But I think when I was more prepared, or I was more confident about my preparation. I was more alert during the exam, and at that point, I made lesser silly mistakes. So ideally, if you're you can't eliminate silly mistakes, but to minimize them, I would say be as prepared as possible. That's the only way to minimize silly mistakes.
All right. Okay. So I think that would be helpful for many students. Now, one more question is that let us say sometimes you might get sick, or for some reason there was some gap in your preparation. So let's say for a week something happened, you fell sick or whatever. So how did you overcome that gap? Like how were you able to maintain the consistency and clear up the whatever is missed out?
I had frequent you could say reviews or checkups with my parents or teachers to check how I was going with my regular schedule. Maybe once in 2 weeks or once a week, depending on your choice. So if I was ill for a week, or if I had missed 1 week of preparation or something like that, I just had to make my schedule so that maybe allot some extra time, or fit more into the next 2 weeks schedule, so that I could maybe catch up. But I just had to sit down, make a conscious decision to study more, put more effort, and so that I could be done with it within the next 2 weeks and catch up with my regular schedule.
Okay. So let us say for these kind of incidents where you have missed out something, or maybe for any other reason, let's say you felt demotivated during this journey. So has it happened to you like you were feeling demotivated, and if yes, then how did you bounce back?
Okay, I felt demotivated almost every day during my preparation. It was a very big, you could say, sine wave. It was very, it fluctuated a lot, and the only thing I found to help was on the bad days, just whatever insecurities or doubts you may have about preparation, just voice it out to anybody, your parents or your teacher. Just find someone who will listen to you and just voice it out and have it cleared then and there, so that you can move forward with a clear mindset. Because staying on your lows for a long time is not helpful, and it can impact your preparation. So have someone to talk to, especially on your lows, and just get it clear then and there.
Okay. So another question is that, like, because many times many students feel demotivation due to that slump. Like they might feel that I'm working hard but marks are not improving, or let us say that I'm not able to balance out my time well. So have it ever happened to you that you were not, like, your marks were not improving even when you're putting effort? And did it create any demotivation? And if yes, how did you overcome that?
I think towards the end of 11th, I had a slight problem with where nothing was, my marks were middling, and I couldn't improve my preparation, and I didn't know what to do to improve my preparation. So again, I had my teacher sit with me and make a proper plan, analyze every aspect of what I've been doing so far and what I can do better. So I think you should analyze what you've done. Take some time, sit with your parents or teachers, and analyze every bit of what you've done and find out what is missing, and you should make a conscious effort to rectify that and do better. And you should keep regular checks so that you make sure you don't do that thing again, make that mistake again.
Okay, yes. So was there any specific person in your JEE preparation who keep on inspiring you on a regular basis?
Like I said, I asked my parents to sit with me like once in 2 days or maybe every night, so that I can just tell them what happened in my school during while practicing. Was I able to complete my task for the day, or I didn't do well in an exam? I just sat with them, just whatever happened I just told them, and sometimes they gave me feedback, sometimes I just listened. But in the end, I think just telling them what happened was helpful in keeping me motivated, keeping me going forward. And yeah, just have someone to talk to on a regular basis, so that you're not going through this alone, this process.
Okay. So I think it's a very important key takeaway that parents' role is very crucial because they are the major source of motivation and also like a comfort place for the students. So I think this, or not just for the students, even for the parents, that your role is very important. So I think it will be like if you talk to them on a regular basis, inspire them, then definitely their performance can go up. Now, coming to all these questions. So these are the questions students generally ask during the preparation. But if I talk about after the preparation, or maybe if I talk about the test, so what is your take about the importance of mock test? Like, because sometimes students skip mock test, think that no, I will study more. So what is your take about mock test? Like how important it is and what should be the frequency of it?
Granted that completing a portion on time is very important, but writing a mock test is equally important, if not more, because you need to have a rhythm for your final exam. You need to be able to manage your time across subjects, and you need to decide the order of subjects that you want to write during the exam. Like you need to find your strong point, which subject will give you a motivation, and you will be able to do well no matter what, that you should do first. And the subject which you feel will take more time, you should be able to allot it accordingly. So mock test will give you a feel of what you're going to go through during the final exam. So you should never compromise on mock test over studying is equally important. If it comes to that, you need to give extra time to studying, but then it's not come at the cost of mock test.
Okay, so basically the mock tests are very important and we should not be taken a back seat. Now, many times many students will write the mock test, but they will check out the answer, then they will see their marks. But sometimes they will not analyze it because analysis also takes time. So what is your take about analysis? Like how much time they should spend on analysis, how important it is, and whether it should be done on their own or with a teacher? Like what's your take on it?
Analysis again, it's very important. I think even more important than writing the actual mock test, because you may learn even more during the analysis part, and you should ideally maintain an analysis note for your mistakes, so that you can go through them quickly. Towards the end you can see how many mistakes you've made frequently, and towards the end it will be very helpful. Analysis, if you can do it on your own when you have time, and but I think you should, whichever questions you weren't able to solve, whichever mistakes you weren't able to rectify, should definitely get them clarified with your teacher as soon as possible, so that going forward there are no mistakes that you're not aware of that you've made. So analysis is a very important thing to do, especially towards the end.
Okay. So let's say whenever you write these tests, so and when you do the analysis, so did you ever see that, or like for example, let's say your marks were fluctuating during the examination. So with the analysis, were you able to rectify those scenarios, or they were like separately a separate thing altogether?
While doing analysis, especially because I maintained an analysis note, I was able to notice patterns where kind of similar mistakes that I kept making. So I think I made a conscious effort to not do those mistakes. Maybe some of them worked, some of them I still kept making from time to time. But overall, I think doing analysis helped me reduce some of my really rectifiable mistakes. Like to initially, I was doing some mistakes that were not necessary, like could be rectified. So analysis really helped with that.
Okay, so I think analysis is very important. It also helps us to improve the marks. Now, coming to our final section, many times many parents and students feel that they have been working hard, but still results are not coming. What do you think is the biggest mistake that any aspirant do, because of which they are not able to maybe get a good rank in JEE or not able to qualify? So, what do you think is the biggest mistake, according to you, during the JEE preparation?
I think first thing you should do is believe that you whatever you're going to do, you are able to do it. You have the capability to do it. So that's, you should never lose that confidence, and keep you should keep yourself motivated throughout, by any, like talk to people around you, voice out your problems, insecurities, get it cleared, and um, while going to the exam, you should not try to not have any baggage from previous exams, and approach it like a fresh, a clean slate. And during the exam, you should not get you should constantly try to not get agitated or lose your cool at any time. During my JE, at one point, I wasn't able to answer 3 to 4 questions at a stretch, and I was feeling myself getting agitated, starting to get scared. But then I was able to consciously tell myself to calm down, to tell myself to keep carrying on, and I think it helped. You should always keep yourself cool, so that you don't miss out the questions that could have been answered if that come if you had been cool. So you should always keep calm, and not carry any baggage from previous exams to your exam.
I think that's a very important key takeaway. So that because many students works hard, but sometimes their get results do not reflect their effort. So yes. Now moving to our second last question, is that if let's say you can go back in time, so what things you will do differently for your JEE preparation?
I think during my 11th standard, I took things little easily. Towards the beginning of my 11th, I was just I still hadn't gotten the feel of everything. So as a result, I had to go back to revisit my 11th towards the end and put a little more effort into it. So I think I would do a little more practice of my early 11th portions, and towards the end, I think the day before the exam, I was revising all my concepts, and I consciously didn't revise one concept, and that happened to come in the exam. So irrespective of importance of the concept, try to just go through everything on the day before the exam. You never know what might come. I think that was one more regret that I had.
Okay, so I think that's very important, because earlier we also talked about 11th is very important. So if you're done properly, it will be really helpful. Now coming to last question, What will be your top three advice to any aspirant? Or like I'll say, we are looking for some kind of different advice which no one takes, like a secret. Because few advice everyone will tell, but based on experience, what will be the three secret advice which no one's tell, which you want to tell to the aspirants?
Okay. First thing I would say is, like I said, whenever you're listening to a concept, try to make sure you have doubts at the end of it, because that's a sign that you're thinking about the concept. And during that time, try to pester your teacher as much as possible. Have a conversation, maybe even in between class, so that you get a good grasp on the concept. I think that will be one. And even though this might be seem regular, but keep a regular practice schedule. Don't ever slack off in between, so that because that will one reduce your confidence, and it'll push you off your schedule. So if you keep practicing throughout, and I think what really helped me is find during writing the exam, uh, find I think an order of subjects that you want to write or questions you want to attempt, and try to fix a time limit for each subject, so that you don't have any unnecessary pressure towards the end.
All right. So thank you very much, Sriram, for joining us today and giving this valuable insight feedback to the aspirants. I hope all the parents as well as students both, it will be very useful and help them to be better at their JEE preparation. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you all for attending or watching this video. If you have any questions, you can comment below. We will get back to you. Or if you have any specific question, you can also let us know. Maybe we'll ask Sriram to answer those questions in the future. So that's all for now, and thank you all for watching the video, and all the best for all the aspirants.